tumeshamaliza kuongea. I don't think there's anything. I'm not decluttering what I'm putting on today. Please. So, thank you so much for this opportunity and to stand by you today. First of all, to share a story or to share a word. I truly trust that this is the group, and coming next year we shall have more of this. And next year, if you're here, make sure you bring another person, be it in business or whatever, because we learn. You just heard someone say last year, I'm the one who told her, you cannot be in business without packaging. See, amesema? Yeah. So I think that is part of it. What is business to me? Let me begin from that. Business to Cebbie is people. I came here with people. I'm speaking to people. We sell things to people. So allow me to introduce my group, my team. By the way, I came with a whole table. So I'll give them time because I know they have substance and we are all here for substance. So kama unajielewa wa kwanza, amka. I want you to see what I mean by, to me, business is people. And I'll explain that. So I'll come near her, I'll give her the microphone.
We went to the same high school. My name is Kola Kinyi, Cebbie's friend, and we do a lot of things together. The shirt I'm wearing is from her plush chick. I have to be careful because I'm blue, so yeah. So I'm an editor by profession. I'm an author. My book is titled Hope, Skip and Jump. It highlights the events of the 2008 post-election violence from the perspective of children. Yes. Cebbie, unataka niseme nini nyingine tena? No, you see, the characters, or rather the kids who are affected by the post-election violence in 2008. Here is the book. So if you look at it, it's the title is Hope, Skip and Jump, and the word jump has been crossed. So the idea behind crossing the jump, Hope, Skip and Jump, is a children's play. And I crossed the jump because that is the level when the game is ending. And so it's in the literal sense, children were denied the opportunity to jump into adulthood through the events of the elections violence. And you realize that the kids here are the current Gen Zs. So this government has shown them injustice since they were young up to now, and these children have said no. So if you want to get the perspective of these children, you understand that this is not something that they've just started seeing in their 20s, in their 30s. They've known, they've observed, and as early as a child is 8, 9, 10, 11, they see things. And you realize that when the world is burning, when a country is burning, people are more concerned about the politics of it. And nobody asks the children what becomes of them, how it affects them. And I was a child then, I was in Naivasha, and if you know the history of Kenya, you know what happened in Naivasha then. So you realize that now I am the new adult, I'm the new voter, and I have stayed with these things. So when people are fighting for this country, I go hard. And like, there's an author called Yuval Harari. He says that we cannot understand our future without knowing where we come from. So we really have to understand the perspective of children so that we understand how they grow. And we also have to know that everything that we do, the decisions that we make in our businesses, in our politics, in everything, they affect the kids. And a generation is raised that has trauma, has pain. And so we have to start by taking care of our children in everything that we do. The other good thing about this book is I sat in a class for 4 years. My degree is around writing. I am a writer and an editor at the Oxford University Press. So it's not a mediocre book, it's a good book. Thank you so much.
I told you guys, we finally had someone, a Gen Z, who has written about post-election violence. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Please make sure you get a book. And by the way, I'm doing my speech if you don't know. What Scholar has done is that is called B2B, brand to brand marketing. She is at Jabali Elementary. She will follow Confidence Elevate, and Confidence Elevate and Jabali Elementary will follow Scholar. Isn't that marketing? Or what is marketing to you? I'm a marketer, probably even in my DNA. So every little opportunity I get, I tell you what marketing is. Let nobody lie to you that marketing is something else. From the periphery, this is marketing. The person you're speaking to, that's marketing. And that's your potential client. I'll go to this Anyiko. But then let me tell you guys, I don't think there's anybody who wears her beauty than her. I honestly don't think so. And I've always believed that when you wear your beauty confidently, you prosper.
Yes.
This woman is a woman of many things. I always call her Kila Kitu Enterprise because I don't think there's anything else she doesn't sell. So yeah.
Thank you so much for that kind of great appreciation. My name is Anyiko Kibira. So I usually hide my first name, but today I will really appreciate it because of Eunice Maina. My first name is Eunice. I hardly use it, but because I like the African version of me. I am coming to appreciate everything African. So for now, I already said. So I am a trained pharmacist by profession, but currently I'm not practicing pharmacy. I am doing financial consultation. I am a financial advisor currently working with ICEA Lion Group. So if you have any issues with your finances, you want somebody to talk to help you plan your money, where to put money for. Right now we're starting to plan early for your future. You start putting money aside. You just don't wait for the rainy day to come because it will definitely come. So yeah, and I'm a fashionpreneur as well. So anything fashion, from jewelry to clothing. Yeah, as she said, I'm a Kila Kitu Enterprise. So thank you so much. For today, I'm majorly looking into talking to you guys about money. Yeah, thank you.
Someone else to pick the mic. Afrique, when Mama Afrique, when Afrique grew up, Jabal is the school. Yeah, we have very good facilities. You need to walk around and see. So, just, no, Ruth will speak later.
Okay. My name is Faith Okwisa-Kwayo.
Faith Okwisa Okwayo.
How many minutes are you giving me?
Did you speak?
Okay, so I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I want to talk about unemployment because it's really here with us, and the youth have a lot of negative energy towards unemployment because we've been schooled to believe that once you finish school, you must get a job. So mine is particularly to emphasize this point because that is what I'm not. Like when I graduated University of Nairobi and a course called Actuarial Science, I was in our class. Yes. You know, I was told it's okay to boast. I don't know. I used to feel like if I talk about my accolades, it's wrong, but yeah.
No boast.
So in our class, we were only 7 girls, and we were top 100 that year, and we were in the country, and we were Yeah, someone was index 1, or rather I was number 1 all my whole life. So I don't know what failure is.
If you're not clapping, by the way, you'll tell us why.
The reason I'm saying that, particularly today, is because I want to emphasize failure in employment. So it's obvious the trajectory of career that I'm supposed to go to medicine and then go get a job and, and change the world. But that's not what my career was. I graduated with actuarial science, and I think the universities were teaching these particular courses, but the market is not ready to absorb some talent because our market is very young and immature in terms of talent absorption and acquisition, right? So I graduated, I did maths for 5 years. There was nothing else, we were just crunching numbers. So we knew CBK, KRA, like would be absorbed in the job market so quickly. So the rude awakening was, I did have powerful relatives, right? So the jobs we were gunning for, either you have to bribe or you have to get in through, and that's the reality of the market. I'm talking about 10, 13 years ago. So I didn't get a job the first year. I got to interviews in KRA, UN, everywhere. Even the UN, by the way, has some level of corruption. So I would never get shortlisted. So I was like, okay. Self-esteem started taking a hit. It plummeted quite a bit because I'm like, what's wrong with me? And everyone around me who was B student, B plus, C, are getting jobs and now driving. I'm in my second year, third year, no job. So of course, I applied for my master's to go abroad, get admission, no school fees. So I'm like, okay, what's wrong with me? So I started iterating and what we call pivoting. And as a trauma response, I went into the business world. And I took a very, very high risk because I started so many companies at the same time. So I will name a few. I started a pharmaceutical company. Yes, I'm not a pharmacist, but I found a way. Through partnerships, strategic partnerships. That still survives. So we have OK Pharmacy. We do deliveries of medicine to anyone. And we have 3 branches. Okay, at first we had 6, failed. So now we have 3.
Standing.
Yes.
Standing.
Yes.
Strong.
Yes, very. And then I started a research company because of course, the numbers called AMR Researchers. And we've been lucky enough to traverse Africa and Middle East. So we've done business in 15 countries. And we've employed almost 100 people. Yes. So we also have another, okay, I'm saying we. Yeah, because it's always a collective effort.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm the founder. I started a company called Amex Skincare. Even went ahead to do a spa, which failed terribly, but the skincare product line still survives.
Stands.
Yes, it still stands. So that's company number 3. And then I started, this one is personal because I lost my dad to a chronic illness. He had diabetes and then he died of cancer. So it got me begging to ask, how come? We were treating diabetes compliantly, but we missed the cancer. So by the time we were starting to treat the cancer, it was too late. It was stage 4. And he succumbed to it. So then I investigated through research what are the gaps in the market, the unmet needs, and we realized many chronic patients don't have proper guidance, proper direction, proper referral pathways, or access to even primary care. So then I started, or I founded a society called Chronic Disease Society of Africa, where we help patients. So the healthcare or the medicine that my parents always wanted me to do, I've ended up employing doctors, or rather working with them and partnering with them. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting to see, and we are still growing in so many ways. So what is my point? Unemployment is not a bad thing. Actually, trauma is not bad, because my trauma response was to create now job opportunities for people. And I can tell you, I started with no money. It's not about money. I do not like this belief or groupthink in the society of you must have money to start a business. No, you just must be very stubborn. And I like today's topic of cultivating resilience. Be stubborn, be resilient, and take the no's. Fail, wake up, fail, wake up, fail, wake up. So for the young girls in here, it's okay to be employed. But if that employment doesn't come, don't worry. You can create employment, you can employ so many people. And failure and success is not a function of money. So that must be reiterated and repeated and emphasized. Money is a consequence of hard work. It's not what comes before, right? Yeah, so be patient, and not everyone's journey is the same. So, and success is measured in many parameters. So don't think having money in the bank or having money quickly or faster is what makes success, right? Okay, that's it.
Thank you so much. I told you I have substance. I'm Kwamini. Uliamini, yeah? We have. Did you hear our statement? From index 1 to unemployment to an entrepreneur. There's nobody in this tent that is going to live here and harm yourself because you are not employed. You're gonna start it. You're gonna fail severally, you're gonna pick up. Because apparently there is a room and there's enough space for all of us. And Faith is debunking the fallacy that grade A material will be working for a D minus. No! She is actually employing the A and working with all that. So there's no glory in saying that index 1 or grade A will work for grade D. It's that kind of buzz statements that make people not to work hard. Because you keep on telling them that working hard at the end of the day won't bear fruit. So I think that is Faith. I love Faith because me and maths. So what I've done, I've complemented my existence with her existence.
Correct.
So that I can be speaking English and she's speaking maths. And before you know it, we form a team, right? So I have this guy. He calls me professor, and I tell him, do not call me professor near professors or near doctors, because I'm not supposed to enjoy that privilege. But the reason why he calls me professor is because he believes in me so much. Let me tell you something about when someone believes in you. I'll tell you people who believe in me and people who have made me who I am, even without knowing. Betty is one of them. When someone tells you something that you want to hear, what happens to your dopamine? When it shoots, what happened to you? You become energized, right? You work. When he called me professor, there's no day I would ever want to fail to gain and to enjoy the privilege of professorship. Just because he calls me that. And that is it. So, this gentleman is part of my team. He has a brand called Arthur Swift. So Arthur Swift combined with Virtual 21 to create a powerful brand that train on public speaking, that train on confidence, that train on digitalization. We have trained people, we have employed people. I look at him, I look at where he come from, completely amazing journey. He speaks very good English. He will tell you he's not eloquent. He will remind you that it's called elocution. Not the eloquent the way we normally say. So yeah, let's clap for the Amotino. The only man near all the women.
Thank you very much. Last year, a time like this, I stood on these very grounds. In the presence of many others who are not here today, we did discuss a number of things. But one that I emphasized on is that the Kenyan education system has failed us. Good evening.
Good evening.
It has failed us largely because it measures on exceptionalism, where number 1, 2, 3 are the ones who do well, and the rest are then taken where? No one knows, okay? But it has failed us because, as Madam Faith has just talked, you've understood that even number 1, 2, 3 has also been sidelined by this very system. of 844 and whatever system that it comes with, that now they're trying CBC. I'm happy for people like my friend, the owner of the institution, because she takes 8 differently and not changed into the CBC program. I've been here and I've seen what you do, and it is really amazing. Why am I saying what I'm saying? It's because as we talk about resilience, one thing that the Western world is doing, which we are not doing, is that they're focusing on mass competence. Mass angoa? Competence. Mass angoa? Competence. Mass competence. They only focus on language. They only focus on what? Language. Language is the only competence required abroad. And you're good to go. You can start as a CNA, the Certified Nursing Assistant, and rise through the ranks to become a doctor. In Kenya, if you're not an A material, dream of being a doctor is as well as done. Okay? And so my focus in every moment that I get in such gatherings is to always spread the knowledge and gospel of mass competence. I train people, as Professor Cebbie has said, in regaining their confidence. Why? Just give me a minute. I was born in Nyalenda. How many of you know Nyalenda? Kisumu? Yeah. I think I've seen you. I was wondering. Yeah, I was born in Nyalenda. And I used to wonder because every Sunday we used to go to church. I was then a Catholic at St. Joseph's Catholic Church, Milimani. And walking through that very road to St. Joseph's Catholic Church, I would see so very nice buildings, people driving so many beautiful cars. And I used to wonder what is wrong with us, whereas my dad was a graduate and we're living in the slum. I can tell you, as she said, my confidence also took a hit, because when we were in class, I would score quite nicely. I was not the best. I was an average student, very average. But I didn't see the reason why others were the way they are and we were the way we are. But as I grew and as I went to university, I later realized that the difference between these two worlds is one, confidence. What? Confidence. And confidence is nothing but reconciliation with self. Confidence is nothing but reconciliation with self. If you walk irreconciled, you can never be confident. If you promise yourself things that you're not going to achieve, or you promise yourself things and don't achieve them, you're not going to be. And if you're not confident, there's no way you can make me gain confidence in you. Number two, the reason as to why these people, and I'm talking about the Lavington kind of people, okay, are where they are, is also because of self-esteem. Self what? Esteem. How they perceive themselves and how they want to live their lives. As an end, I want to tell you this. My lifestyle currently is trauma response as well. I grew up in the slum where we used to see, all right, I want to call it the other term, but I fear my mom is here. We used to see fecal matter. In the morning as you wake up, unapitana nako barabara, okay? And you'd come back from school for lunch, you find the door locked because there was no money, okay? And you just go back to school. And I used to wonder, why? My dad is a graduate, why are we living here, okay? And so today, to what? Today, my lifestyle is trauma response, because I refuse. I do what? I refuse. I reject. Nakemea, in the strongest terms possible. Yeah, living the kind of life we lived, because if you live defined, if you live what? Defined. In defined spaces, the probability of you growing is near zero. At least another mathematics of probability. Otherwise, thank you so much. Professor Cebbie will actually be a professor. I had the chance to teach at a university at the early age of 21. I lectured 21, 22, 23, 24. And so I know the journey of professorship, and I know Professor will be there finally. Amen. I'm always proud of you. And all these people who you see here, these ones who are talking, all of them belong to something called the Coffee and Confidence Sessions, where we meet just like this and we talk about how to become better in terms of confidence, how to present yourself. In Nairobi, we meet at the Social House every Friday evening. And in Kisumu, we meet at the Acacia Hotel. It's just trauma response, nothing personal. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, that's trauma response. Amesema hawezi kaa huko downtown. Simesikia? Again, I keep on telling you that business is people. And people are better than things. My mother always tell me that. People are better than
things. Yes.
People are better than things. We have a beautiful lady behind. Those are people that we train. So we would like you to tell us your name. Mnaona venye ni mrembo? Why do you guys don't have brothers? These are women who are learned.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Ivy Helen, and I'm a realtor and a journalist by profession. And today we are talking about entrepreneurship. So I just want to say one thing. You cannot get anywhere in life without taking risks. So in business, whatever you do in life, be ready to take risks. If you fail, you tried. But if you succeed, at least you got what you wanted. So thank you, Cebbie, for inviting me. I'm happy to meet all of you. And I wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Quickly, I would want to invite one person. But before I do that, we need to acknowledge Charity. You guys have said the clothes smell so nice. Charity, amuka owasalimie na mikono. Yeah, we live together. She joined me this year, and she told me that next year she would want to join college, and I promised her that I will do that. I will try and make sure that she joins college. Charity is a Luo from Suba, but she resides in Kawangware. And I like to mentor her a lot. I make sure that I go with her in every space. In fact, I'll tell her, go to my wardrobe, pick what can fit you, join me at this space. Because she's a young girl, and I know what happens. Probably on her journey, she looks and wonder, people leave these spaces. People live in such a space. People appear here. I always go with Charity in so many events. Sindio, Charity? Yeah, and I believe that confidence is built in small ways. So now, I will not stand here when she is speaking. You guys don't know people. Me, I know people. I know people. So I called her in the morning. I told her we have an event today. I don't know if you would make it, because she's like me. It's like Kate. Kate will tell me, I didn't invite you because I knew you were busy. So I tell her in the morning. She calls me saying, Cebbie, that event is today. I'm like, yeah. So I asked her. There's a reason why I'm saying this. I asked her, could you please send me your profile? She told me I can't access my profile now. Then I went to ChatGPT. Where uko ChatGPT kweli? Are you there? It means you're not utilizing your social media space. The kijana who was the young guy, Brian, ChatGPT needs to recognize you. How? Your footprint online. What you put out there. And everyone else. What you write, what you publish. Even just your Instagram or your LinkedIn. That's what ChatGPT will use. You don't need a blog. And that's why I always tell people, your packaging and branding and footprints determine the success of your visibility. Ama hiyo kizungu ni mingi. So I googled Ruth, and this is what I got. Ruth Ambogo is a prominent Kenyan political analyst, governance consultant, and advocate for youth and women rights. She is the founder and executive director of Center for Advocacy and Awareness on the Rights of Youth Africa. When you follow Ruth, or you listen to her speak on TV, you'll see her hashtag, conversations that inspire greatness. All the time. Before I became her friend, me, when I see you on TV, I must make sure I become your friend. I used to see it, I said, this one, I must become her friend. So that I learn, so that I step, so that I praise and look at the ground she stepped on I make sure that akikanyaga hapo pia mimi nakanyaga hapo, because chances are akiruka ntaru, akiwa successful pia mimi nitakuwa successful. It goes ahead and say, Ambogo has been active in various political and social initiatives, often appearing as mainstream media to discuss important national issues. You haven't seen that babe talk about law. No, you guys don't know. I know when you see her here, you'll know what I'm talking about. She has a legal background, having pursued a law degree at Strathmore, and has been involved in youth leadership and policy advocacy. Ruth actually participated in 2017 as Senator or Women Rep? 2022. Women Rep. Alingangana na wale wanaume pale. Kama wewe unaona utaogopa. No. It doesn't. Politics is politics. Yeah. If you're running for Women Rep, you're still meeting those goons on the road. I can tell you for sure, I'm running in 2027. Yeah, so her work includes focusing on inclusivity in political process, economic welfare for youth, and advocating for the rights. And when I said that to Ruth, she told me, who knew me like that? I said ChatGPT. So yeah, welcome Ruth. Please come and share with us your story. I told you, because I was to speak about resilience and entrepreneurship, and Eunice was here. People who have spoke before me said everything. So I just want to tell you that business is people, and people are my people that I've come with. So welcome, Ruth. Weka song ya Kiluya. Ruth is a Luya. Luya. Watafollow Elevate, watafollow Jabali. Hi guys. Shira na racing simame hata mumklapie show.
Baba says higher. Good evening. This dancing it's a trap, because by the time you're getting here, you're like, what do I do? You know, it is a trap. Please, the next person coming, don't request for a song. Dance afterwards. Anyway, I need to go back to the gym. But yes, my name is Ruth Ambogo. These days I like to pronounce it as it is pronounced, because I remember coming to Nairobi, just like most of the people who have spoken. Personally, I stopped trauma responding to life. I now enjoy life at its fullest. And I pray those who are trauma responding get to the level that I am at. You know me now, I'm now the Chief Entertainment Officer. Chief Enjoyment Officer. So anyway, when I came to Nairobi, and for me, I came to Nairobi at the point at which I was joining high school. So that should tell you that mimi ni msichana wa village. Yeah? Lakini village mimi nimetoa ndani yangu. Hauioni hata kidogo. Labda nikidance tu mukangala ndo unaiona kidogo ndani hapo, iko hapo mingi kabisa. But I came from the village, and I felt as if I needed to Nairobilize my name. So I would say Ruth Ambogo, you know? That's what it sounds easy for most people, but my name is Ruth Ambogo. And I come from Vihiga County. I come from Sabatia, where Musalia comes from. And to be specific, I come from a village called Lusengeli village. And for me today, I don't want to talk a lot about my story because mine is also quite long and filled with ups and downs, but I will focus mostly on my political journey to encourage 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people, not necessarily to become politicians, but to become people who are conscious about advocating for change, people who are conscious about advocating and speaking up when things are not going right. Because that has been my journey in life when we talk about politics. So for me, my political journey, as many people state who are in politics, began at a very early age, you know, zile primary school class rep, all the way up to high school, you're still a class rep, you're always a class representative. Primary school, you always, you know, you become head girl. And I think for the parents in this room, this is an indicator that if you have a child who's always constantly being assigned leadership roles, that there might be a very high chance of them getting to a level in life of assuming, you know, public responsibilities or being a voice for the people in the future, or even joining politics just like myself. So flash forward to campus, Strathmore University, where I went to, and I think most of you, when you heard Strathmore, you probably thought, haka nika rich kid. No. I went to Strathmore University on 100% scholarship as a student or as a girl who was coming from a needy background, but who had done well in her KCSE at Loreto Limuru. So I got 100% scholarship, and while at Strathmore University, I remember the first thing I did before doing law school was I did a course called CPA. So while I was doing CPA, I didn't have scholarship for CPA, and I started looking for that scholarship. And while looking for the scholarship, I came across the student council who are running a program called Elimisha Strategist, which was a program that was meant to help students from needy backgrounds at Strathmore University who are unable to pay their school fees. So I became the first beneficiary of that program. And I remember looking at myself and looking at the people who had helped me and wondering, how would people come together who don't even know who I am, collect money and assist me in paying my CPA school fees without really knowing who I was? And I gathered that these were student council members, and I promised myself that when I would get the qualifications to vie for student council, I would vie and continue that program and help even more people. So when I got to my first year of law school, I definitely had qualified to vie for student council, and I became the very first year at Strathmore University to vie for student council and win. But how did I win? I remember I had about 5 opponents, and most of them were third year students, second year students, you know. Actually majority of them were third year students, very accomplished, very well known. They know people and people know them, and I'm barely a first year student. Do you know what I did? On the day of the debate, I simply just spoke, and after speaking, I would just hear people calling me and saying, "Siko ubaya, but I have stepped down for you." So I ended up vying unopposed. And I pray that at some point in my political future, I vie unopposed. Because people are just like, we cannot deal with this one. So when I got into the council, and I will fast track this part because it is very significant to my leadership in the future, as you'd seen with my story. When I got into the council, I said the position I vied for was public relations, and the job of a public relations representative was to simply make sure that events were going on well. But I asked myself, I have been given, or I have been bestowed upon the duty of being a leader. Would I want my legacy to be that I made sure Mr. and Ms. Strathmore was the best that was ever done at Strathmore? Who would remember that 10 years from now? Or 10 years from that time? Nobody, right? So I said that this Elimisha Strategist is going to be my legacy. The one that gave me the scholarship as the first student is going to be my legacy. So I remember walking up and about, doing everything I could, planning and having people drop out of my planning team and being left with 2 weeks to the event with nobody on my team. I picked a group of 3 people. We worked together, and in 1 week, we put up an event where we raised 500,000 Kenya shillings and got pledges worth another 500,000 Kenya shillings. And with that, in 1 year of being a student leader, I was able to assist almost 40 students with bursaries and scholarships at Strathmore University. And that is the day it hit me. The day that we did that fundraiser and made that money is the day it hit me that being being in a leadership position is not just an opportunity for you to have power and allocate good things and nice things to yourself, jobs for your people, but it is an actual opportunity to transform the lives of so many people. And while at Strathmore Law School, in my, I think, second year, first semester, actually it was first year, second semester, we did a unit called Politics, Democracy and Governance. And one of the definitions that had me say I will be a leader in this country was the definition that defined politics as the art of allocating, the art of determining who gets what, when, and why. And I asked myself, if politics is the art of determining who gets what, when, and why, isn't it? And there was also another definition that defined politics as the greatest way to help the greatest number of people in the greatest manner. And I was like, if this is politics, isn't it what I would want? To be in a position where I can assist the greatest number of people in the greatest way possible. And I said, yes, this is exactly what I want. And after politics, after the campus politics, I joined the youth political stage, which came with so many challenges. And this is where the challenges come in. You're a young woman. People look at you, and especially people like myself who are very vocal, you will be hated like nobody's business. First of all, you find people who just hate you for absolutely no reason. You get into the youth space, and the youth space people are literally locking you out of the youth space. There was a time when I was locked out of the youth space. Events would happen, people would go to the US, people would go to countries outside the country to represent young people in the country, and I would never feature in these spaces. Flash forward to national politics when I said, you know what, I'm done with the youth space and I now want to launch into national politics. The things that I saw in national politics, let me tell you. First of all, I said I wanted to vie for Senate. And the very first political meeting I went to, where my grandma trained me, the late grandma who loved me so much, trained me on what to say the very first time I was stepping on a political platform. I remember after I did my first speech on 25th December 2020, was it 2020? I think 2021. After I was done with my first speech at our local church, and it was a big conference that day because it was Christmas Day, and then I went to 3 other churches. I was approached by a group of men who called themselves Watu wa Ground, and they told me, my sister, kiti ya Senate tusha panga watu, wewe enda kwa kiti ya wamama. So are you seeing, as a woman already you are being told you cannot fight amongst men in Vihiga. You have to fight amongst your fellow women. And if you thought that fighting amongst my fellow women was easy, you have it wrong. I remember the countless times when I would go for rallies and my fellow opponents are trying to have my clothes ziinuliwe so that I can be ashamed in front of people. The number of times I would go for my political meetings and my opponent hears that Ruth Ambogo is here, and at that time I was barely 28 years of age. And I'm dealing with women who are in their 50s and 60s, sending goons to political meetings to throw soda bottles at me with an aim of wanting to hurt me or, pretty much just end you. The number of times I would hear that meetings have been held and plans are being made to make sure that Ruth disappears in a manner that is so innocent, nobody will suspect it is political. But what was the final straw for me that got me out of the Vihiga race? It was when the daughter to my PA was mercilessly raped by a man who had been planted in my campaign team by my opponent to pose as my chief campaigner. And this girl was raped. She bled, and the worst part about it is that she was a 28-year-old girl who had brain development issues, so she had no way of even comprehending that she was being raped. She was lured into her rape. She was told, kuja nikuonyeshe vitu watu wakubwa wanafanya. And she was mercilessly raped. And even after being raped, she was told to bring 40 liters of water, which she brought. And she was forced to clean the bed sheets that were filled with blood. And after that, the boy was very lucky because villagers actually found him. And they were about to burn him down in the house where the act was committed. And for me, I remember I was on a flight to Nairobi. I didn't know what was happening. I'm landing, and my PA calls me and tells me, my daughter has been raped by this person. And for me, it affected me mentally. I remember I was hospitalized. I broke broke down completely mentally. I was hospitalized, and the hatred that grew in my heart for my people, I could not comprehend. For about 2, 3, 4 years, for about 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, I could not step in Vihiga comfortably, because I would always remember that these people did this to someone very close to me and very personal to me. It broke me, but guess what? After years, I came out and I said, you know what? I will come back. I'm currently at the Kenya School of Law, pursuing my ATP. The case is still there, never went anywhere. When the boy was arrested, he called his male political friends who got him out. You see how the political field is, how dirty it is, that somebody has literally been caught in the act of raping someone, but because he has male friends who are in politics, he goes scot-free. I promised myself that the only motivation I have to finish Kenya School of Law and get my 9 Ps is that the day I will be admitted to the bar, the very first trip I will take is a trip to Vihiga. To do what? To get justice for that girl. As we speak, my oral exams are coming up in the next 2 weeks. My final exams are coming up in a few months. In November, I will be done. By next year, time like this, I'll be close to being admitted to the bar. By December, this boy who raped that girl will see himself, he will start smelling the corridors of jail. And as I conclude, in 2027, I am vying not in Vihiga, but in Nairobi. And to be specific, most probably, Westlands or Nairobi Woman Representative. So I will be back. I will be back. And I hope that this encourages someone to think of, despite the challenges that might be in the space that we are in the space of fighting for the rights of people, that you can still rise and speak on behalf of people. I still speak on behalf of young women. I still speak on behalf of the youth. I still agitate for change, and I hope that my story inspires you to do the same. You can follow me on all platforms, but mostly siku hizi niko active huko TikTok sana. I'm very active there, and X. Facebook siko ubaya, is a bit toxic. I found it to be a bit toxic for me. For the rest of you, it could be working, but for me, because of the politics and the things that I went through, I really want to take a break from Facebook a bit. I'm active on X, Ruth Ambogo, Instagram, Ambogo Ruth, TikTok, Ruth Ambogo. We can always engage and inspire each other. Asanteni sana.
Makofi tena. Makofi. This world, you must be street smart and clever. You see the way I'm delivering my speech in bits. You see the way I'm delivering my speech in bits. Very practical. I hope that inspires you. And that is resilience by excellence. I see Ruth, I see future. And I believe we all belong there. Okay? So that is the team that I came with. There's something that I want us to understand when it comes to business. We need politics. And that's why I brought Ruth here. So as I said, it feels good to hear people speak highly of you, like Betty did. Those are the pockets of resilience. Even if I want to put my head down, I can tell you for sure they give me motivation. I always say that I don't think there's any person my age that has been bullied more than Cebbie Koks. I don't think so. Like literally, to be honest, I don't think so. One, because of my personality is very strong and I'm not apologetic about it. And secondly, when you induce pangs in people, you know, when your personality is vibrating, there's a way you induce pangs. You can also be very annoying without knowing. So I understand the foundation. What is resilience to me? Resilience are not things that you forcefully do. Resilience to me are things that come naturally to your side. Can be an encouragement from someone, can be a client, can be a stranger telling you good things, and can be just someone else subscribing to your things. Recently, I was so shocked. I'm shocked that Betty can see it. I looked at my wardrobe and wondered, what am I doing with all these clothes? Because you know, I'm not a celebrity. I tell people again, there's a difference between celebrity, public figure, or a notable figure. I'm not celebrity. I'm a notable figure. When you appear in a function, you must look type away. And you must have a different clothing. So when I looked at my closet, I asked myself, what would I be doing? And then I researched about decluttering clothes. I realized that you cannot have better things if you're still holding on to the older ones. So I told myself, I'm gonna give this clothes. The way I can't wear it, someone else will be having it as Sunday best. So I announced and said, guys, I'm decluttering my clothes. If you follow me, please make sure that you get any picture of a cloth that you love from my closet. I will give it to you at a fee. Where business is running. I said I will give it to you at a fee, because if I bought this dress, for example, at 22,000 Kenya shillings, and I wore it once to an event, and I'm giving you this dress at 5,000, sure, ile ni mbaya. I was so shocked. I made 200,000 in 4 days from my old clothes. True story. Because this is live, I know blogs will pick blogs. I've been very quiet lately. Please don't use this to antagonize me. Just that, I asked myself, what is business? I'll tell you what entrepreneurship is. Again, to me. The reason why I'm referring that is I'm giving you a very practical example of what works for me that might not work for you. Entrepreneurship begins at the terms of business. Where are you going? Have you answered your why? What are you doing this? Have you identified a gap? When I saw that, I realized that, by the way, I can make money out of selling things. So I expanded the business and called it Declutter with Cebbie. Majority were getting this word for the first time. I remember some gangs, to a few girls in a group of 5, running with that and saying, squeezing their image. Ameland word moja inaitwa declutter, hatutapumua. Hatutapumua na hiyo word moja umelani ya declutter. Ukiongea hivyo, mtu akiandika declutter, anapata declutter with Cebbie, anasema nataka hiyo, unafanya anapata pesa. And that's the practical sense of life. 2 coins. This side inaumiza, hii side inapepeta. And that is resilience to me. The fact that there is the downside and then there is the upper side, that someone is actually buying my goods. Am I speaking to someone? Yes. Is it making sense? Nikaona hii declutter iwezi sana. Nikasema no, I must sell for you clothes bwana. Google Ritzy. Ritzy means class. So I came up with plush. Plush is an English word to means elegance. Hii shati nimevaa nauza. Ziko huko. I love white. So most of the clothes that I'll be selling is white on plush check. All these are part-time. What is resilience in plush check? Is that scholar buys for me and tell me, I like the way that thing. We do it with passion. You need to see us with charity, by the way. Tunaosha, tunapiga pasi, tuna spray, tunatuma. Then I get to say, it smells so nice. I love the shirt. Can I get another one? That is resilience for me. Because it's already hard. Business is already hard all over, right?
So those little things is what build the resilience all the time. Pole, 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 pole. Before you know it, you're somewhere. Now, back to my water. If you're in business, let me say this. If you're in business, make sure you have key points. 1, packaging and branding. Your name, the logo, is it registered? Your name, we can't buy what we don't know how to call, surely. What makes you distinct? What makes you more compelling from your competitors? The branding and packaging. Number 2, where are you? How do we reach you? In the wake of social media, make sure you're on social media. There are people who inspire me a lot, like Kate, Director Jabali. Every time she'll drop me a text and say, Jaber, I'm busy, I see you, keep going. It means she's saying it. Best known beats best product any day. Ukijulikana, utanunuliwa. It also builds credibility, it builds trust, it fosters legitimacy among your clients. Number 3, key messaging. How do you sell it? Where are you? What are you? I'd like to give an example with Deborah Uko's book. Everybody else has written a book, right? People write books every day, right? Have you guys seen the marketing that has gone in that book? Have you seen the kind of packaging? That is marketing. You see the way someone can remember what Cebbie says about declutter? That's marketing. That, to me, is business. And I will tell you for sure that when it comes to business, make sure you understand your why. When you understand your why, setbacks will not take you away from that why. Answer the call or the gap. What is it that people need? Ideas do not make us great. Ideas do not make us successful. It is the implementation of those ideas that make us great. Asanteni sana.
Wow. Very, very, very powerful. And to what Cebbie said, what are you selling? Are you putting it on the social media?